Hey, Mama. It's your girl, Carrie, and welcome back to another episode of Mom Life, Career Life. Today, we're talking about something that I think every working mom experiences at some point in her career. A season where work just feels really hard. Not just busy, not just stressful, but hard. The kind of season where you're second guessing yourself, you're questioning decisions, you're feeling stretched thin, you're wondering how you're going to get through the day without having a complete meltdown. And if I'm being completely honest with you, this episode has been sitting really heavy on my heart lately because I found myself living two completely different worlds these past few months. One world has been incredibly stressful, and the other has been incredibly beautiful. And it's made me realize something important that I think every working mom needs to hear. We don't get to choose whether hard things happen, but we do get to choose whether we allow them to steal our joy. So today we're talking about how to stop carrying the emotional weight of a difficult workday, and how to protect the beautiful moments that are happening outside of work in your life right now. But before we jump in, if you've been finding it hard to leave work at work lately, if you're feeling like you're constantly carrying that mental load of your job into your evenings, your weekends, your family time, I really want to encourage you to grab my free Boundaries Made Simple guide, because here's what I've learned over the years. Boundaries aren't about doing less. They're about making room for what matters most. And inside the guide, I'll walk you through practical strategies, mindset shifts, and simple scripts that you could start using immediately to protect your time, your energy, and your peace without feeling guilty about it. And honestly, if this season of life has taught me anything, it's that the moments that matter the most deserve the best of us, not what's left of us. So go grab my Boundaries Made Simple guide. The link is in the show notes. Now let's jump into today's episode. Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work, time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Carrie, a wife, a mom of three, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being so intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first, because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life. If you've been listening to the podcast lately, you know that this has been one of the most emotional seasons of motherhood I've experienced so far. My oldest daughter, Ashley, is graduating high school. We're doing proms, college orientation. We're talking about dorm rooms. We're shopping for all the things she'll need when she leaves for college. We're preparing for a chapter that feels both so exciting and heartbreaking at the same time. And I'm kind of getting teary-eyed just talking about it. And right in the middle of all of that, Kaylee turned 16, sweet 16, a milestone that really just deserved to be celebrated and remembered and made special. And if you're a mom with multiple kids, you know exactly what happens during seasons like this. One child has a huge life event happening, and suddenly you're trying to make sure another child doesn't feel overlooked in the whole process. And I found myself being really intentional about making sure that Kaylee felt celebrated, felt loved, and felt really seen during her special day too. And then there's Michael, my baby, who somehow in only a month from now is going to be a teenager. How is that even possible? Seriously? Can someone explain to me how the years just move this fast? 1 minute, you're teaching them how to tie their shoe, and the next minute, they're becoming teenagers. And even Kaylee, she's getting her learner's permit, which is just boggling my mind how I'll have 2 drivers in the house. Well, actually 5 drivers in the house if you count me, Russ and my mom, but it's crazy. And all of these moments have been happening at the same time. Graduation, 2 proms, orientation, a 16th birthday, a soon-to-be teenager. And in the middle of all of that, work has been super stressful, like really stressful. The kind of stress where there are days I could easily spend my entire evening replaying conversations, thinking about problems, working late, questioning decisions, and carrying the entire weight of the day around with me long after I've logged off. And maybe you've been there too. Maybe work has felt heavier lately. Maybe you've had a season where you've been carrying emotional weight of your job home with you too. Maybe you found yourself sitting down to dinner physically present, but mentally replaying a meeting from 3 hours ago. I know I have, but recently I've made such an intentional, conscious decision. I refuse to let a difficult season at work steal a beautiful season at home. I refuse to spend these moments distracted. I refuse to miss them because my mind is somewhere else. Because the truth is, these are the moments I'm going to remember. Not the email, not the meeting, not the project, not the deadline, these moments. And I don't want to look back one day and realize I was physically present, but I was mentally absent. I don't want to look back and realize I spent one of the most significant, meaningful seasons of motherhood worrying about a problem that no one even remembers anymore. Because one thing I've learned over the years is that work will always have another problem to solve, another challenge, another deadline, another fire to put out. But this version of my children, this season, it only happens once. And you've heard me say this on the podcast so many times before. Instead of focusing on what you want to accomplish in a season, focus on how you want the season to feel. When I look back at Ashley's senior year, how do I want it to feel? When I think about Keely turning 16, how do I want it to feel? When Michael officially becomes a teenager, how do I want it to feel? I want it to feel present, connected, intentional, joyful, not distracted, not overwhelmed, not constantly thinking about work. And that question has helped me tremendously lately, because sometimes it's not the workload that's exhausting, it's the emotional weight. Maybe you receive bad feedback. Maybe a project doesn't go the way you hoped. Maybe someone questioned a decision you made. Maybe you made a mistake. And suddenly what started as one difficult moment becomes a story on replay in your head. But I want to remind you of something. One hard day does not define you. One mistake does not define you. One piece of criticism does not define you. One difficult season does not define you. The fact that you're struggling does not mean you're failing. And a lot of times, the very moments that make us question ourselves are the moments where we're growing the most. And growth is uncomfortable. Learning is uncomfortable. Stretching yourself is uncomfortable. But that doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. One of the biggest lessons I've learned recently is this. You have to protect your peace with the same intensity that you protect your deadlines. Because if you don't, work will happily consume every ounce of energy you have. Work will move into your evenings, your weekends, your vacations, your family dinners, your thoughts. You have to decide where the line is. You have to decide what gets your attention. You have to decide what deserves your energy. And sometimes that means reminding yourself that not every work problem deserves a front row seat in your personal life. So the next time you have one of those days with the criticism, the disappointment, maybe you get imposter syndrome or self-doubt, I want you to pause and ask yourself, will this really matter a year from now? And if it will, learn from it, grow from it, address it. But if it won't, don't give it the power to steal today's joy and happiness. Feel the feeling, process it, learn from it, and then let it go. Because resilience isn't pretending everything is okay. Resilience is knowing that you can have a hard day without allowing it to consume your entire life. You can be incredibly successful at work and still have hard days. You can be an amazing mom and still feel overwhelmed. You could be so grateful for your life and still feel stressed. Both things can be true. And the goal isn't to never have difficult days, because that's unrealistic. The goal is to not let one difficult moment, or hours in my case, become your entire day or your entire week or your entire season, because the seasons move fast, so much faster than we think. I'm telling you, don't blink, mamas. I say it all the time. And then one day you're going to realize that those little things that you rush through were actually the big things all along. And I know we already did a challenge yesterday, but I really want to challenge you that this week, I want you to identify one big, beautiful thing that's happening in your life right now. And it doesn't even have to be big, but maybe it's graduation season like me. Maybe it's summer baseball or dance recitals, or even just something simple like a family dinner. Maybe it's having all your kids under the same roof if you're a little older and your kids are a little older and they came back from college. Or maybe it's your kids are starting to learn how to walk or ride a bike, or going to a new camp that they're so excited about. And then ask yourself, how do I want this season to feel? And what is the one thing I need to stop carrying so that I can fully experience it? Because the moments happening right now are the moments that you're really going to miss someday. Please, moms, I'm speaking from experience, and I don't want you to miss them while they're happening. If this episode resonated with you, would you please do me a favor? Share it with another mama friend who needs a reminder too. And if you haven't already, take a second and hit that follow button so you never miss another episode. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover, or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life, or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat.